Well, I don't want to sound like I'm complaining here because at the start of the season, this would have been ridiculous. But our season risks petering out a bit here. We've picked up very key injuries in one area of the pitch, which is stopping us from getting results and producing great performances. And another side at the bottom, Birmingham City, are really struggling themselves, which means the gap to the relegation zone is only getting wider. As a result of both of those, it risks being a quiet end to the campaign, but that's a good thing because we can start planning for next year and some of the superstars that will be coming in. Yes, hello and welcome along to part 24 of this FM06 Let's Retro Save from Luton Town. We are back today to face fellow promoted side Crystal Palace as Ian Dowie's side, like ours, look to close in on survival. We're both a long way clear of the relegation zone thanks to the faltering form of the bottom three who are now well adrift of the rest of the league. But of course we are having some of the same old problems, a lack of goals from our strikers, key injuries in defensive areas, and unfortunately, one or two where we're probably going to need replacements now. If you're looking forward to seeing what's been going on, then please do chuck a thumbs up on the video. But for now, after all the excitement in the last episode of new signings that we know are coming in the summer, of brilliant players breaking our transfer record and some good form too, it's all just calmed down a little bit, which is no bad thing for our first Premier League campaign. As you can see, we're sitting in 12th place on 34 points after 29 games, a total I'm very happy with, mind you. But if we go and have a look at the table itself and what's been happening recently, there is a big gap to the relegation zone. Birmingham, who were on 20 points in 18th at the time, have not picked up a single point since the last episode. They have been in turgid form. If I show you what's been going on there, they've lost without scoring against Spurs, Chelsea and Newcastle. They did beat Wolves in the FA Cup, but lost to Charlton, City, Liverpool. They've basically had the run of games that we've got coming up towards the end of the year, which is why I was so keen for us to get results. I guess the thing you could argue in their favour here is their remaining home games include Crystal Palace, West Brom, Bolton today. They've also got to play the likes of Borough and West Ham, who are down there as well. But I think it might be a little too late for them. West Brom are also now 9 points adrift, which makes me very keen to get Curtis Davis in the summer. They've played against us loads of times recently, but also, again, lost against some of those great sides. They just cannot score goals. So maybe I should be a bit less critical of our strikers, because we have popped up with 35 goals this year and 10 victories, which is an incredible effort. However, in recent weeks, it has dwindled a little, and I'll show you the reasons why. Because you were with me when we lost 1-0 to Bolton. The next game sort of defined our season and probably secured our safety for a particular reason, a very similar one to what happened in that Bolton game. And then the game after against West Brom probably signalled the end of our competitiveness for this season. And again, we'll talk about why in a moment. So you were with me for Bolton. We followed it up with the most important of results. Andy O'Brien scored against Middlesbrough. We were playing really well. Then they got a penalty with 20 to go as Floribert Ngalula was sent off. We went down to 10. They equalised from the spot kick. Trouble was afoot. In the 90th minute, the man who came on because of that red card, I brought Doyle and Derry on, went to one up front and kept the rest of the shape the same. Michael Doyle put a free kick in the top corner in the 90th minute to secure us the game and 3 pivotal points. A big shout out to Fernando Mira as well, who gave away a penalty against us there. And that meant that we were just one step away from survival, I think. Since then, though, we've struggled to pick up points, apart from the following game against West Brom. Now, you'll notice in that game, Chris Coyne started in defence. The reason for it, Andy O'Brien, away training on international duty in between these two games, picked up a broken leg, out for 6 months. His season is over, and unfortunately, probably his time as a first-choice player in our team. He'll come back and probably form part of the backup back three alongside Coyne and Heikkinen. More work for us to do in the summer. Against West Brom, we did okay. Chris Coyne was on the pitch. He played well. We got ourselves a result. Fantastic stuff. However, between then and the next game against West Brom in the FA Cup, he also got injured for a month, Chris Coyne. That meant Marcus Heikkinen came in, and it perhaps wasn't quite the same ever since. We got a 0-0 draw in that one as the strikers continue to struggle in front of goal. We then lost to West Ham in the league. Sean Maloney scored, but it wasn't enough in a 2-1 defeat. Heikkinen again struggling a little bit in that one. Kevin Foley had an absolute mare. He's had a pretty tough month in truth, so maybe something we've got to look at as well. After that, we lost against West Brom in the Cup replay without scoring yet again. Marcus Heikkinen had another poor game. Against Everton at home in the league, we got a crucial point. Richard Hughes producing an equaliser from midfield late on. Marcus Heikkinen ironically set it up and was the best player on the pitch that day. But then a 4-2 defeat against Manchester United. We did rest a few with this game in mind. We had a couple who were knackered after the midweek Everton game. So for example, Baraji dropped out. We brought in Joe Keenan. He got sent off. We brought Nichols in. We brought Howard in. Both of those got the goals and built up their fitness. But again, Marcus Heikkinen was in there. Warren Feeney came off the bench. It was, again, a bit of a patched together squad at the end. So a very difficult situation for us. We are running out of competitiveness and we're running out of winnable games. This on paper is probably one of the last of them as we host Crystal Palace. But Keenan suspended, O'Brien out injured, Coyne back for the first time since he picked up that injury after the West Brom game. So we are now looking to pick up that one win I think would secure us survival if we're not already there. Let's go and have a look through at the team selection for today. The focus is on the football and the doubleheader after the excitement in the transfer window last time. And this is the team that we're going for as we host Crystal Palace, who got promoted with us last year. As you can see, Chris Coyne comes into the back three alongside Basagno and Ferdinand. A risk, I know, but Heikkinen is on the bench, so we're a little stronger than we were. And Galula drops to the bench with Hughes, Keane and Nichols in midfield. King finally returning from injury and getting involved a bit more, though Kevin Foley's form at right back might mean we have to adjust during the game. And then I've gone for Maloney and an increasing fitness of Howard up front, because Henrik Pedersen, Morgan and Feeney have all been absolutely abysmal in recent weeks. So we've got no width on the bench because we're without Keane, who's starting today. We're also without Keenan, who's suspended. So we're a little bit short of numbers out wide. We're a little bit lacking in flexibility. We've still got quality in the side. And our 11 is a little bit stronger than it has been. Let's hope with the return of Chris Coyne, it will defensively improve at the very least. I should mention as well as we go into this one, look at that, John Paul Kizuk. The Southport Messi's in there. They've also got Suma on the left wing, who we tried to sign in the summer, and some other very good names you'll recognise too. Billy Jones becoming a superstar, as always in this game with Andy Johnson up front. I should mention as well, though, Heikkinen has signed another new deal as a backup on the same wages he's been on. And we've also got Baraji tied down for another year. He's signed on a $7,000 a week deal, I think. So not bad, considering he's going to be second choice next year as well. Let's play the first half, see how we get on. I presume, yeah, Andy Johnson is pretty good in this game now, isn't he? Let's see what the first half produces. Hopefully, not many chances, because if they are and Palace create them, we're going to struggle to score more than one as the ball goes in toward Johnson. Good defending by Basagno. Generally, when we've won games in recent months, he's been the man in form at the back. McAnuff looking for Riolati. It's the pace we're up against today that worries me. He comes down the left with Gardner, a January signing we looked at, and Chris Coyne misses it against Soares there. But he gets out to the second ball, deflects it for a corner. We're under early pressure. Our goal is under siege. Are we going to be able to defend it? Anthony Gardner, the big centre-half, taking the corner. Not sure about that. They've left Kizuk back on Maloney as well. If he gets in behind, that could be risky stuff for them. As Jones crosses, that's great football. It's a lovely little ball to take 2 or 3 players out the game. Soares gets the header in, but Schmeichel, that's why we signed him. The reflexes are there. He makes a big difference. Got McGregor down to a new deal as well, so we have got a backup keeper for the next 3 or 4 years. What can Kasper Schmeichel do, though? Big chance to counter here. Out towards Steve Howard. Loses it to Joby McAnuff. And Andy Johnson's in, but Basagno does brilliantly. Gets himself back as Foley finds Hughes. Now Ferdinand to Foley. Can we go forward, please? Big diagonal towards Steve Howard. Loses the header again. But Chris Coyne will start another attack as it's up towards Howard. Loses out to Jones, but it only falls for Baraji. In towards Maloney. Mistakes at the back for Palace. And he's not made it count. Sean Maloney has been good when he's been fully fit this year. But that's just not happened often enough. He picks up so many little knocks, then takes 2 or 3 weeks to get up to speed. Plays 2 great games, then gets injured again. I'm really hoping Robert is going to stay fit next year as Basagno has been penalised. He's just pipped to it by the pace of Andy Johnson. Now George McCartney has the chance to put Palace ahead. See what I mean about this season petering out as McCartney straight down the middle and Kasper Schmeichel not able to stop it. 15 gone, Palace are ahead. In truth, I don't think we can have any complaints. Well, a couple of minutes later, and we're watching the Eagles go forward again. Hughes goes for the big punt downfield. Not sure Howard's going to be even a competitor in that race. I was going to say he's not going to win it. Don't think he'll even be close. Long ball towards Tuma down the left-hand side, which Kevin Foley deals with. Out to George McCartney. Tuma again. Gets to the left-hand byline. Chance to cross. He's across to the front post. And Johnson beats Hughes to it. We're falling away. I've got to be honest. The last sort of 5 or 6, even the ones we've got results in, we've been really poor. We've been outplayed. And you're starting to see that we're running out of steam. Thankfully, Birmingham have gone on that awful run because otherwise we'd be in big trouble here. But there's enough on the board, I think, to keep us up. As Gardner crosses to Fatty, it's 3-0. Right, we're now collapsing. The gamble to play a half-fit Chris Coyne is not working. The gamble to drop out Ungalula and go more aggressive in midfield has been a disaster. And up front, I mean, nobody's in form. We've got 5 strikers and they're all in abysmal nick. This has been a really poor display. Steve Howard has now picked up an injury just to compound the misery for us. We're almost at half-time. We'll just see it out. And hopefully, we can then make changes. Because this game is done. And as we've said before, we've got to start protecting people. I am almost asking myself that question. Do we have to let Big Steve go next summer? Because he's not offering an awful lot, or a few little flick-ons and assists. You can see here, he's losing ones in the air now. As Coyne goes wide to Baraji and Nichols. Gives it away to Soares, just a bit too slow, but Maloney gets it back from a mistake and goes fairly close. But again, not enough to be considered a great chance. Steve Howard's going to come off for Pedersen. I'm going to be absolutely livid at that display. But we've got not much to play for now. The lads are on the beach. And Henrik Pedersen is going to have to save the day here. We'll get Ungalula and Morgan on later, give the younger boys some football, or maybe even just rest Coyne for Heikkinen at the hour mark. But the less damage done here, the better. Our goal difference has been solid this year. Let's at least try and keep that the same way. It goes out to Billy Jones on the right. We've not really taken many a hammering this season. And this one risks being the first of the year. Ball across the box is dealt with by Foley. It's against one of the weakest teams in the division as McCartney into Gardner. We're trying to get in there, but we're not quick enough. It's well deflected by Richard Hughes as Pedersen holds up for Nichols. Can we at least get a goal? Give the fans something to cheer. Doesn't look that way. It's notable that our brilliant home form has really dwindled since we got the stadium expansion. More fans, more eyes, more pressure. And a complete collapse as well as Kizzert gets the ball in midfield, goes for the shot. Wide of the post. I'm going to take Chris Coyne off now. There's no point risking him physically. He's done an hour, that's enough. We'll get Heikkinen on for him. And then do we bring Ungalula on as well? And if so, who for? Do we just give Nichols a rest? Do we give Hughes a break? I mean, it could be any of them, really. I'll give it 5 more minutes just so we've got less risk of going down to 10 due to injury. And then we'll make our decision. But this has been a very rare, terrible day at the office this year. And I'm hoping we can find something to build on it next time. Chris Coyne's coming off. We'll make our last sub in 5 or 10. As here we are in midfield with Keith Keane, finding Baraji and up to Henrik Pedersen. Maloney runs onto it. Wouldn't mind a goal here just to get a striker in a bit of form. Pedersen's completely fallen apart the second half of the year. He's getting older. He's obviously getting a bit worse physically. Maloney's just not been fit as Richard Hughes gets it from the corner. Shot's a little bit slow, lacking in power. And it leads to nothing. A big clearance downfield. I mean, I can't complain. We'd have been so excited to be here at the start of the year. But when you start well and then fall away, just feels that little bit worse, doesn't it? I mean, if I show you Henrik Pedersen, for example, he's just declining a touch. He's only 1 down on the pace, on the agility, etc. He's just declining. And when these boys get into a lack of confident form, when their morale starts to go, you haven't got all those different individual chats you used to have. All you can really do is praise and criticise form. So you can't just pick them up by praising their training effort like you can in the modern FMs. As Foley gets the ball on the right, big switch to Baraji. He's got a fight on his hands to stay near the team next year as Keane loses out to Johnson, but Ferdinand comes forward. Foley gets it into Nichols. Has support from Keith Keane, but he underhits it. Hughes recycles possession though. Who will it be coming off? Hughes or Keane? We'll find out in a moment. As Anton Ferdinand over halfway, up towards Pedersen. Wins the flick, but it's straight at the keeper. Couldn't quite direct it. We're going to take off Richard Hughes. He's not had his best game. Ungalula will come on in a holding role. He's 1 yellow from a suspension, so That's the one thing he could do just to compound it today. It's not been a good day as Maloney, free kick 40 yards out, chips in, misses everyone. Straight through to the keeper. I think Palace in this 3 seasons must have had more goalkeepers than any other club. As Riolati's pressured by Maloney. Ferdinand nicks it high up. Pedersen's in. Henrik Pedersen's finally scored. God, I don't even remember when his last goal was. That's how long it's been. It's not a vital goal for Luton. It doesn't give them a way back in. Henrik Pedersen has not scored since November because these fixtures go back to the start of December and he's not got a goal. That is a long old goal drought, isn't it? And maybe with Howard's knock, he'll have to start the next one. Hopefully he'll find some form. Henrik Pedersen on the score sheet, and that's one positive we can take out of a very long day. Well, Palace have changed to 4-4-2 as we look to go long towards Pedersen again. Billy Jones wins this one, and Johnson has now got support up front. Nichols will chase him, but he goes wide to McCartney, who got this all underway today. George McCartney down the line to John Macken. He's on as the second striker. Nichols intercepts the cross. Maloney can hold up for Keith Keane. Pedersen's with him. Maloney's trying to support. Can he find him? It's out towards Foley. Beats McAnuff. Now he's on McCartney. Good cross to Maloney. Good save. Almost 3-2. And that would have been a pivotal goal with 8 minutes to go. Instead, it's Palace on the break. We've had to gamble here. With 5 to go, we're under pressure. Kogan's cross for the visitors. Keith Keane heads away. Basagno chasing out like a lunatic. Completely leaving his shape. And that cross in towards Andy Johnson. He would have been unmarked due to him disappearing. Schmeichel's able to gather. If we score here, it's interesting. But the truth is, we don't really deserve anything. As Pedersen plays out to Marcus Heikkinen. Has support down the line. Goes big towards Pedersen again. Kogan intercepts. It's been a poor display. Johnson's in. 4-1. Would only be fair, but it's not to happen. Good challenge, Schmeichel. Ungalula punts it in the stand. Sort of sums up the day, that, doesn't it? 4 minutes added on. A deserved victory for Palace. A pretty poor display from us overall. But the season's basically over now. It's just about making sure Birmingham don't win games. And see if we play any better against Fulham next time. Well, breaking news, and maybe some we need to keep an eye on. Birmingham City have ended the losing run, albeit they've not scored, and albeit it's only a point. Birmingham City have got themselves one more on the total. That means the gap is 13. There's not many teams between us now. With Fulham being one of them next weekend, it's pretty imperative that we avoid defeat. Well, Fulham away today, and bizarrely, they've got another game in 2 days' time. We're one of a couple of sides not in action, and I'm not quite sure what the reason is for that. We're not going to complain, though. As we look to secure survival, let's see who Birmingham have got as well. Because realistically, them and West Brom going on a run is the only thing that can put us in trouble here. West Brom are at home to Spurs, who are 4th. Birmingham go away to Borough. So we probably want Borough to overtake us today, because that will mean that Birmingham are right in trouble. Let's have a look at the 11 and what we can do with it. I'm going to bring Heikkinen in for coin because he's been really poor the last few games. He's now moaning about his contract. Just come back from a month and a half injured after being a backup. Howard got that knock in the last game. Pedersen scored the goal. Let's get him in from the start. Going to stick with Maloney because there's nothing else about. I don't know what else I can really do. Joe Keenan will return to the bench in place of Sean Derry. And Galula will still be the midfield option. I think I'm going to leave the rest of the midfield 3 as it was, though. I just hope we get a better performance. So let's go and get into the game. Heikkinen is in, Pedersen is in. The rest of the team has got a chance to make amends. Let's go and see if they do it. Well, here's something we haven't seen much in FM06. The narrow diamond. It's a very interesting one as well. Moritz Volz, Matthew Flamini, who we are looking at trying to sign in the summer. Malbronk, and then Torgelli and Collins John up front. Oh, some cracking names in there. Boa Morte centre mid is a little suspect, and Darren Pratley, a young superstar coming through in this game. Let's see how that pans out today. They're not the strongest squad on paper, but we've not been in good form, so I don't think we can say much. As Baraji gets down the left-hand side to Pedersen early. Could have done with him in the box, really. But he wins the corner. It's sensible, experienced target man play. Now goes Sean Maloney to take it. We've got plenty of options in at the near post. Can Maloney find one? Heikkinen's up for the flick. Kasapa wins it. It's away as far as Steve Malbronk, who has got space to run into. No idea how we've managed to get 4 players back and nobody near their only one. Hughes gets back to win possession, though. And he clears it as far as Heikkinen, who's still on halfway. Bizarre passage of play, that. We've now got an injury to Kasper Schmeichel, and you know me, I don't use the sub-keeper. Unlike Neil Warnock, though, I've not looked to see if I've got a good one on the bench. As Jensen gets the ball on the left-hand side. Carries it forward. It's out to Torgelli. He's got a chance to cross and does towards Collins John. Off the woodwork. Schmeichel holds it. We've survived. But again, the hosts are on top. And Sandor Torgelli and Collins John, they're just splitting wide here of our back three and causing us real trouble. As Heikkinen goes up again, does really well that time. It's another corner, and we've got more defending to do. This shape is giving us trouble. There's no doubt in that. As Lewis Boamorte got to knock himself now. Out to the edge of the box to Collins John. Nobody there. Nichols will intercept the ball back though. Another corner. More pressure. We cannot get out of our own third at the minute. We could really do with one on the counter because Baraggi and Maloney have got space if they get there. Schmeichel goes up and wins it. Now clear. Look for Baraggi. Just clear it. Takes his time. Fulham are able to get men back there. In the end it's towards Maloney, but straight where Flamini is. Not ideal. Boamorte clears long downfield, and that should run out for a goal kick. We've come under pressure. We've survived it so far, but the threat just isn't there going forwards. We're just under 10 to the break, and we finally got the ball in the Fulham half. Pedersen goes back to Bisagno, and Baraggi can surge into the box. Baraggi's gone one-on-one. He beat two players. Then he's tried to shoot. If he looked for the little through ball there, he might have been able to create something. As it is, we're straight back to face our own goal as Torgelli keeps it in and goes for the cross. Kasper Schmeichel does well with it. Now, who can you find? Can you get it on Pedersen's head? And can you get a flick onto Baraggi? That's what we're looking for. Doesn't reach him. No, Hughes intercepts. Puts Maloney in one-on-one. Pedersen ended the goal drought last game. Can Maloney do it this time? Sean Maloney straight at the keeper. Another chance goes. They just won't get in form, will they? At half-time, it's 0-0. We've had a couple of glorious chances. But overall, it has been all Fulham. Going to show encouragement because we're doing all right. But really, we just don't look like scoring from open play. The match stats suggest it's been a pretty even one, but from what I'm watching, I'd beg to differ. Well, just in case we thought there was a risk of Pedersen or Howard off the bench winning headers, Zat Knight has come on for Fulham to add a bit of height. As here goes Baraggi with a switch to Foley, who really needs to find some form again. Might be a position I have to replace as it's a good ball in though. Ricardo's able to get there. Pedersen not really attacking the box, which is a bit of a shame. Ricardo, you would imagine, will try and go long here and does. Darren Pratley's making a run. Heikkinen's got to win it and does. Nichols finds Baraggi, who can surge forward down the left. Take on your man. Big ball to Maloney, just overhit. It's a lovely idea, but it's executed poorly. And again, no danger on the Fulham goal. Ricardo's got the goal kick. We're still seeing it, are we? We go past the hour mark as Ferdinand wins a header at the back to Foley. On the right-hand side, a support inside from Keane. He's got Foley wide again and finds him. Both strikers up there, but can he find the cross? No, he can't. He's forced backwards. Though he does turn and go down the line again. Looks in towards Maloney. Great touch. And the shot's forced away by the goalkeeper. Moritz Volz clears downfield and with 20 to go. Going to look at a change or two now. Richard Hughes has had a tough game again, so Ungalula is on for him. Can't do anything about the Schmeichel injury. I can take Pedersen off for Howard though. 15 remaining. I almost don't want to do it because we look pretty good. But they're the two I'm going to make for now. Let's see if we can make anything happen. Then we'll do a time-wasting sub at the end because I know it's only a point, but this would be pivotal. As Howard goes up against Moritz Volz, loses the ball, doesn't win the challenge. Jensen able to find Flamini. Keane's going to nick in, but Gardner gets there, and now Jensen finds Severin. Into Malbronk in space, not where you want him. It's a good save by the keeper. Baraggi puts it behind, and we're under pressure again. It's a second half in which Schmeichel's not had to do as much work, but set pieces has been a bit of a kryptonite at times. In towards Gardner, Schmeichel does well. 10 to go, still 0-0. Would be another very good point, but we're going to look for the counter. Good ball out to Foley on the right. Has both strikers with him. Foley can look for Maloney. Keeps the ball himself instead. Goes for the big switch out to the left. It's not Baraggi though, it's Howard chasing. And he is never ever going to get there. That's the problem when it's the wrong man out there. Who can we bring on for the final sub? I've got Dean Morgan up there for Maloney. I think I might just do that because Keenan got sent off in his last game and I don't want to change to back three. So on comes Dean Morgan for Sean Maloney. There's 5 to go. Are we going to get hit by the Bolton sucker punch again? Let's hope not, as Bisagno. Conversely, could we do what we did against Borough? Why have we got no one back? 2 on 2, but again, they're ignoring the players. Stephen Naismith's off the bench. He goes back to Malbronk and Severin, and we're under pressure here. Keith Keane gets in. Brilliant tackle. Foley v Naismith. Foley loses it. Malbronk gets the ball wide to Moritz Volz. It's going to be another late one, isn't it? Collins to the right byline. Chance to cross. Collins John into the box. Cleared away. Nichols will chase, but Pratley's going to win that race. Oh, he's giving it away though, Morgan. Just beaten by Zat Knight. Ferdinand away as far as Gardner. And Pratley comes forward again. Pressured by Ungalula. And it peters out as we're back with a throw on the right for Foley. Plays a 1-2 with Dean Morgan. And again, Morgan over halfway. Options inside. He goes up towards Nichols. Looks for Howard, but not quick enough. Ungalula recycles it. Morris vaults with a clearance. Ferdinand in. Keane finds Foley. Can we create one more chance? Morgan peels off. He's in one-on-one. Dean Morgan shot saved. Good goalkeeping, Ricardo. 3 minutes to be added on. And we've got one last highlight. Baraggi throws into Keith Keane. 1-2 played. Baraggi on the left-hand side. Do not go backwards. In towards Foley and cleared. Collins John against Heikkinen. The final whistle goes. That feels like the point for me. I know it's a lack of goal threat again. I know it's a pretty average display. But for a first Premier League season, with players like Heikkinen, Morgan, a very ageing and declining Howard coming in, that ain't a bad result. We're going to tell the lads we're pleased with that because it keeps Fulham behind us. It adds one more to the total and gets us, I think, pretty much secured of safety. Let's have a look at the league table and that Kasper Schmeichel injury. Birmingham lost. That's huge. We're at West Brom. They lost as well. So the gap is back to 14 points. We're on to 35 from 31. The rest of our games this season are pretty awful. I think Wigan at home is the best one remaining. I think it might be the only game we've got against someone outside the top 11, if I'm right. Let me just go and have a look at the Luton fixtures quickly. So Aston Villa are next. They're having a tough season. They're 15th, but that's because they're still going in Europe. They're in the quarter-final. After that, we face Wigan. Then our final 5 games are Blackburn, Arsenal, Newcastle, all in the top 10. Liverpool, and who was the last one? Manchester City. Our City are 17th on the final day, but they should be safe by then as well. So we're going to come back, I think, for that. The final 2 games of the season, maybe even just the final one. Liverpool would be an interesting one to show because they've signed one Lionel Messi in this save who's starting to pop up with a few goals. So that could be an interesting episode. See how he gets on against us. He's combined with the strike force of Tevez and Forsell. It's a very different looking Liverpool side here. For us though, I think that point pretty much wraps up safety. It's been a very good effort in our first Premier League campaign. Are we going to be able to add to it next time around? If you enjoyed this one and you want to find out the answer, please do put a thumbs up, subscribe and turn that notification bell on. We will be back for the final games of the season to see how Messi gets on at Kenilworth Road. And of course, Kasper Schmeichel should be fit by then, as he's only going to be out for a couple of weeks. Another point on the board, and not the thrilling end to the season we'd hoped for, but we know we've got 3 superstars joining in the summer. I'd like to make it 4 or 5. We'll be back the rest of the week to find out how we get on as this FM06 Let's Retro Save continues. Let me know if you think that's job done now, and let me know as well how you evaluate our first Premier League season. I'll see you tomorrow as we finish it off.